the back. Thank you. Thank you very much to our friends with the cameras. May we please ask the ones in front to kindly settle down. Thank you. Shall we give a chance for the cameraman in the back of the room? Thank you very much. To our distinguished gentlemen, may I ask you to please smile for the cameras? Please remain standing. Thank you. Once again, kindly settle down as we are now about to open the floor for questions. Last minute reminders, once again, only one question per publication or title, one question per person. Thank you very, very much. Shall we begin?
Before we begin,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Gordon.
I was just reminded that actually we shouldn't be reminded. We're grateful, Keller and I, as well as Mr. Bono, I'm sure, and the ambassador, are all very happy that Secretary Duque is one of our biggest supporters here. You know, this is a health situation, and we want to make sure that we remember those who contribute to making sure that we get better health in this country. Thank you, Secretary Duque. Now we can have the question.
Thank you very much, our Health Secretary, for being here and for the full support. So yes, first question, please. To our lady, to Scott Garso. Yes, with a microphone. Thank you.
Hi. Oh yeah. This is Scott Garso from the Philippine Star. I'm over here on this side, guys. On the so hi. Sorry about the camera here, but I'm going to start from right to left if I could. Bono, we've been waiting forever for your band, you and your band, to come to the Philippines and visit. I just wanted to ask you, what made you decide, what convinced you that the Philippines was the best place to launch this program, this initiative with Zipline in the Asia-Pacific region?
This is my boss.
Okay.
And Keller and his team decided, and we were in the area, and we just forged together the chance of me being at the opening, and this is the only company I'm on the board of. Just want to say.
Wow, that's great. And also, the other follow-up to that was just, do you have a bigger vision for what this company can do in terms of delivering worldwide? And that also, you can share that with Keller as a question.
For me as well. Right. Oh yeah, they're not lacking in ambition. And you know, the senator's favorite song is "To Dream the Impossible Dream." This is the possible dream, but it is a difficult one to achieve technically. It needs a lot of buy-in from a government, from local volunteers at every level. I think it's fair to say. So whenever you find that, I think Zipline can really be of service to the community. So that can go all over the world.
Yeah. I don't have anything to add.
Okay, thank you very much, Keller. Thank you very much, Bono. We have another question from this side of the room. You have the phone. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Janela Baez from Rappler. I'd like to ask, are there any plans for Zipline to partner with the Philippine government, you know, to really institutionalize this service?
Yeah. So, you know, as the senator mentioned, we're in active discussions with the Ministry of Health. It's absolutely our intention that we will serve all both public and private healthcare facilities. So, you know, you always, whenever you're doing something unprecedented in the world, you have to start somewhere. And, you know, Senator Dick Gordon has really been like a visionary here. He's moved very fast. Our plan is absolutely to make sure that public healthcare facilities also have access to this service. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
Howard Johnson, BBC News. Question to Bono, please. In 1966, when the rock legends, the Beatles, visited the Philippines, they famously snubbed Imelda Marcos, who was the first lady of the country and the wife of dictator Ferdinand Marcos at the time. Have you any plans to meet President Rodrigo Duterte And if not, do you have a message to send to him about Amnesty International's concerns about human rights abuses in this country?
I have no plans, and today I'm just focused on what the sort of positives of working with the health service might be, and we just met the health minister there. He was very encouraging, and so I want to thank him for that. President Duterte is very popular. He doesn't need me on his side, and as it happens, I have a very deep conviction about journalism. I probably would have been a journalist if I wasn't a singer, and so the safety of journalists is very important. And I think a democracy requires a free press. I find some journalists to be a total pain in the arse, but I'm really glad they're there. Right.
Hi, good afternoon.
More questions, yes, thank you.
I'm Marie Zomali of GMA7. Mr. Bono, your collaboration with the Philippine Red Cross and your other philanthropic works have been truly laudable, making you a very respectable voice in various issues. And a while ago, just a follow-up on the human rights situation, Mr. Keller mentioned that universal health care access is also human rights. So may I just get your opinion on the overall human rights situation here in the Philippines and your thoughts on the leadership of President Duterte?
I think we're trying to
Yes.
make a difference here rather than make headlines for something else other than Zipline tomorrow.
Yes. So, yes, thank you very much for that.
But I am a member of Amnesty International. I have been all my life. I take it very seriously, and I think human rights are, critical. And I think my impression of the Philippines are very caring, very sophisticated people. And I understand that when progress is made, sometimes people make what they think are compromises for that progress. And I would just say you can't compromise on human rights. And that's my soft message to the president.
Which again, you would like to encourage your friends from the media to please do focus on today's wonderful partnership between the Philippine Red Cross and Zipline efforts. Thank you very much. More friends, more questions, and for the rest of the panelists as well.
Hi,
Yes, the next one, please.
I'm Kathy Garcia from Business World. Yeah, and my question is, I'm very interested in the Rise Fund. Like, how did you get involved with Zipline, and what criteria does the Rise Fund have when investing in companies like Zipline?
Well,
Keller?
I can quickly kind of answer. Zipline. I think, as someone who has been building a company over the last 8 years, we've been lucky enough to be able to have an opportunity to work with a lot of different investors. And one of the challenges is that I think a lot of investors are typically looking for companies that they think can make the most amount of money possible as quick as possible. And yet, I kind of felt alone for many years in this conviction that the way you could actually build the biggest, most important companies for humanity was not by trying to figure out what business model would necessarily make the most money the fastest, but instead, what are the biggest problems that we can solve for humanity, and how do we do that using entrepreneurship and technology and via a for-profit structure. And it was only really when we found the Rise Fund that we realized there was an investor out there who shared that same philosophy, a philosophy that you can actually take what's best about capitalism and entrepreneurship and turn it onto these problems that have really plagued billions of people for centuries, or for as long as we've been around. And so anyway, that was the reason. We actually weren't even raising money when we decided to work with the Rise Fund. It was really just finding a partner who we felt shared that same philosophy about the world that was so exciting to us. And I think that's what the most important thing about Rise's brand.
It was somewhat humbling for me as a development person. I'd worked on development issues going back to the 80s and Live Aid. It was somewhat humbling to discover that the route out of poverty can't sustain unless you involve commerce. And that aid flows are critical as a bridge to get you across and out of extreme poverty, but you have to involve commerce. And I didn't know much about commerce, and I have tried to find my way through it and just ask some basic questions about what would happen if you use really these very, very clever people to solve the problems that affect so many lives. And can you use commerce to do it? And in truth, you need both. You need public funds and you need private funds. So I haven't changed in my view that governments need to support their peoples, and we need to support peoples even that are not Irish or English or American. We want to serve people around the world, but it's much better when those people serve themselves, working with innovative business people like Keller and the Zipline team. Sorry, that was a long-winded, boring Irish type of answer. Sorry.
Not at all. But we do have time for one last question. Thank you very much.
Isa, my name MJ from ABS-CBN. Bono, I had this opportunity to go to Singapore, interview two of your bandmates, Edge and Adam, and I asked them about the things that you do off stage, which is humanitarian campaigns and stuff like that. Because I remember when you were in Australia, you had to pause and approach firefighters and show them a gesture of respect and thanks for what they did for, with the forest fire in Australia. My question is, in your 4-decade-long career, why do you do what you do?
I mean, we're in a room full of people you could ask that question to, and I don't think it's a surprising thing when people want to salute others for their work. You know, the firefighters in Australia are unbelievable men and women, and they're volunteers, a lot of them as well, by the way. And the people on the phones here for Red Cross, these are heroes. I am an over-rewarded, over-regarded, I have an overinflated opinion of myself, rock star, and I know that I'm not a hero. I am delighted to be the lead singer of U2. I'm not giving it up easy, but I know what a real hero looks like, and that's what real heroes look like. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Truly a very humbling response. Shall we now have the remarks from our very own Senator Gordon, please?
Yes. Thank you. I just want to say something about Mr. Bono here. Lord Bono, all right? Let me just say that he has been involved in HIV, he's been involved in people who are certainly vulnerable, such as children in conflict, certainly those who cannot afford to have access to medicine. And he's in contact, obviously, I think he sits on the board of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And one of the things that I'd like you to know is that in this country, you can see that polio has staged a comeback. We have also measles. We also have endemic to our country, AIDS. Not AIDS, but dengue. I was going to say acute intelligence deficiency syndrome. All right. Anyway, to make a long story short, I am really looking forward to this partnership, and certainly with the support of the American ambassador, Ambassador Sun Kim, to make sure that this is not just form, but there should be substance here. Knowing Miss Lord Bono over here, and certainly my friend Keller from Harvard, I'm sure we can do something about everything that we are doing here. And it's not just about Zipline, but we're going to have to make sure that our engagement in helping alleviate human suffering in this country is enhanced by the participation here of Lord Bono. He is not Lord Malo, but Lord Bono. And certainly Keller, and certainly the ambassador. I just want to thank all of you here, and I hope that you'll continue to help the Philippine Red Cross as well as the Red Cross. I just came, by the way, from Geneva, and I came straight here. The Geneva International Conference is going on, and I had to leave because this is such an important event in our country. I was shanghaied by, where's Karen the other night, and before I left. No. Karen Brooks. Pwede na rin. She called me in Geneva. Yes. In fact, and that's why I came back here today. Karen shanghaied me. I was, I'm usually late for my appointments, but with the ambassador, I was first, and I waited. And because this is such an important event, so I'm not going to wish any good luck here. I'm just going to wish everybody good skill. Let's get it done. Thank you very much.
Indeed. We can count on our friends from the media to do support this partnership between the Philippine Red Cross and Zipline. Shall we give our panelists, our principals, a round of applause once again? Philippine Red Cross Chairman Senator Richard Gordon, His Excellency United States Ambassador to the Philippines, Honorable Sung Kim, of course, Zipline co-founder and CEO Keller Rinaudo, and musician, activist, and Zipline board member Bono. Thank you for your cooperation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time. We count on your full support. In the words of Senator Gordon, let's get it done. We wish you all a pleasant day ahead. Thank you very much on behalf of the Philippine Red Cross and Zipline.